Welcome to the Super Mega Ultra Force Gamescast. We're going to talk about Helldivers today. Alright, so this is your main hub. You can switch out your equipment, whether your tactics, support. These are all unlocked throughout the game as you're playing different missions. As you can see, I'm a level 9. And every mission you complete gives you experience. Some of them are hot zones during battles that are fought in missions. And those missions will give you bonus XP. Sometimes it'll be 25%, sometimes it'll be 50. You can choose between a male voice, a female voice, or the other characters you can talk to. This is where you choose your campaign and choose your level, and I'm jumping right into this mission. I'm choosing a easier mission. As you can see, I am fighting the cyborgs. This is my selection of weapons. I'm going to choose the sickle. That's kind of like a beam rifle weapon. And I just bought the add-on so I can get some of the new additional stuff, which is kind of these little robots that will defend you, and one of them will heal you. I always want to bring in my mech. The mech has this heavy machine gun and rocket launchers. They're really good, especially around when you're getting into heavy firefights and stuff. Scape, huh. So anyway, you drop in and during this time you have to capture certain points. These ones, depending on how close you're standing, is how well it's going to be. I'm going ahead and dropping my 2 orbital drops just so I can get some additional weaponry ahead of time. The only way to call weaponry in is through your D-pad, and of course, since all the enemies are fearlessly charging directly at you at all times, it can get very tedious to try to tap in those codes. One of the big things about this game is that the friendly fire is always on, so anything around you will damage you. If you call in a drop pod and you're standing right where you send out the flare, it'll land on you. It'll kill you that way. Your sentry gun, if there's an enemy behind you, it will shoot directly through you. It won't normally shoot at you, but if there's an enemy behind you, it will not hesitate to shoot. And that's kind of the fun of this game. It's kind of this black comedy military game. It's fun just to have a group of friends run around and, you know, just friendly fire mayhem everywhere and just get killed off and everything. It's a really fun game, and I'm showing you right now the mech. In some way it's kind of overpowered because you can just trounce through like these enemies, but of course you gotta remember that I'm playing on the lowest difficulty here, and in a little while I'm going to show you what the highest difficulty is, and it looks like hell. It literally is described that way in the difficulty. This is the shuttle call. When you call this is when the ship arrives. You usually have about a minute of time to defend yourself during this time, to wait for the shuttle. And one thing you got to watch out for is that shuttle will land on you if you're not paying attention. That was the first mission I had was a nightmare in that way, where I was being overrun. I was doing everything I could. I was trying to wait for that ship, and when it finally did, it landed directly on me. You get, I think it's 2 lives. Yeah. Well, you get 1 life, and then every additional life you get is from winning missions or winning objectives. Once you complete an objective, you will get additional reinforcements, as they call it. Now, if you're playing with another character, you can't be revived necessarily. You'll actually have to call in additional reinforcements, and that will be your person. So reviving is especially tedious in that way too. Now there are various enemy types, and they all have a special thing where usually they will start off in one specific. There will be one or two enemies, and if they see you, they'll immediately call in reinforcements and bring in the heavy guys, and that's where it just starts getting tedious. Is the enemies will just constantly alert other enemies and just bring more in, so you have to be proactive and kill as many as you can, or kill all of them on sight, otherwise they will bring hordes and hordes of enemies. Now that objective obviously looked pretty simple, but in just a minute we're going to show you what the hardest difficulty is. I've never actually played the hardest difficulty, so I was completely unprepared for this, but I had my ass handed to me. See, no deaths, 3 stars, lots of XP gained, and of course I completed the mission because I think there was only like 1 or 2, well, 2 missions in this one. And you have your community influence, and as you complete missions, as everyone else completes missions, that bar will slowly fill up, and that will be a victory in this sector to help your war campaign. Now this game continuously has different battles go on and different wars. I think when I looked at it now, this is actually the second war going on, so it's a continuous thing and it'll recycle. And as you can see, the amount of objectives, I only had 1 objective on there. There was about 7 right there. I like the little touch where you can see the several other characters' drop ships ready to launch at a moment's notice. Immediately I'm just going to call in my mech. I am not even going to try to do this without having a mech. And just suddenly enemies just sprout out everywhere. These things look twice as hard to kill. I'm trying to fight them off with everything I have. The machine guns, nothing is phasing them. They just go right through it, tear my mech apart, and I die just right then and there. Of course, thankfully I have another spawn, and you know, I'm just like, oh, I get how hectic this can be, so I need to get the hell out of here. And then we get a crazy praying mantis one. I've never seen that before. And these guys don't even look like they're being phased by the damage I'm dealing. Looks like one of them did acid damage to me. Now, one thing you probably haven't seen yet, but when enemies attack you, they can down you, and then you have to get up. And you know, once that one downed me, I just got swarmed and I was gone. So yeah, that's what Helldivers looks like on the easiest and the hardest difficulties. It's very fun, regardless of how difficult it is. Definitely want to try it out if you get a chance.